Hey guys, I wanted to take a few minutes today and introduce you to something that we're going to implement at our box called the Burden Challenge. This is something that has been on my heart for probably a year now, and I was looking for a way to try to implement it into our community. So I've reached out to a couple of people already to see if they might be interested in trying the challenge, and I got some pretty good feedback. So I wanted to present the challenge to the box as well. We're going to be posting some information on our social media and on our Wodify page for some clarification of some of the details that I'm going to go over today. But obviously, you can reach out to me or any of the coaches here at the box if you have any clarifying questions about the challenge. One thing that I try to do every summer, swimsuit season, is trim down a little bit of extra body fat, look a little bit better in a swimsuit, feel better about myself. And what I'm doing in this challenge, or what we're doing in this challenge, is trying to provide you guys with a roadmap on how to kind of do some of the similar things that I've been doing in my own personal life for probably 15 to 20 years now. So if you're wondering, is the challenge going to work? My answer to that would be absolutely, because this is something that I've applied in my own personal life for probably close to 2 decades now. Some of the preliminary information, for those of you that may have exposure to First Form's 75 Hard Challenge, we're not going to be going quite as long. So first things first, this challenge is going to be 56 days, which would be roughly 8 weeks. So not quite as long of a commitment as the 75 Hard, but still, in my opinion, very effective. We're going to present you guys with 3 separate categories within the challenge. One of the categories is going to primarily focus on nutrition. The second category is going to focus on hydration and sleep, or sleep hygiene. And then the third category is going to focus on exercise. To be part of the challenge, we're going to have 3 separate levels. So we're going to have a level 1 challenge, we're going to have a level 2 challenge, and we're going to have a level 3 challenge. The level 1 challenge is the most accessible. I hate to use the word easy, but it is definitely the most simple variation of the challenge. The level 2 version of the challenge is going to be a little bit harder, and then the level 3 version of the challenge is going to be the most difficult. We would recommend people starting with the level 1 version of the challenge, and if they're successful there, then maybe they can move on to the level 2, and then so on and so forth for the level 3 variation of the challenge. There are going to be 3 separate items within each of the 3 categories. So like, for example, our nutrition category, you guys are going to have 3 options to pick from. The first one is going gluten-free for 8 weeks. This is something that I've experienced in my life and my family has experienced in their life, reducing inflammation within the body, making recovery easier, cutting out things like extra mucus buildup, extra nasal drainage, inflammation in the joints, soreness in the muscles. Gluten-free, I would highly recommend. So that's one of your options. You could also choose to go no sugar added. There's very little nutritional value in things like candy and cake and cookies. Most things that come in a package or in a wrapper are going to have sugar added to them. So we're really going to challenge you guys to look at your nutritional labels during this challenge. Make sure that there is no sugar added. And then the third option that you can pick from, you don't have to do all 3. The third option that you can pick from is to go dye-free. This is something that me and my family have experimented with for several years now, probably going on maybe 5 or 6 years, especially with our kids. We notice a huge change in their mood and their behavior when we cut all of the dye out of their foods. And then, a couple months later, a year later, maybe they go to Sunday school or something and they get like a lollipop or a piece of candy and it's got artificial dye in it. And I kid you not, within hours, we notice an instant change in their behavior. So for our level 1 version of the challenge, I like to just pick one of the 3. Gluten-free, no sugar added, okay, or dye-free. Pick one of those. Then you're going to move on to our second category, which is all about hydration and sleep hygiene. You'll get to pick from 3 options there. 64 ounces of water a day. You do need to make sure that you are tracking it and measuring it. We want to make sure that you guys prioritize your hydration. Second option that you can pick from is to ensure that you're getting at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. For those of you that have a Whoop band or an Apple Watch or some sleep tracking software, it might be a perfect opportunity to use that. I would recommend for those of you that do not have a fitness wearable device, try to be in bed for at least 9 hours because you know you're not going to be sleeping for all of that time. And then the third option is no screens. Yeah, no phones, no tablets, no TV within an hour of going to bed. We know the science and what it indicates regarding blue light, and we want to try to encourage you guys to avoid the blue light as much as possible, especially within that 1 hour window before you go to sleep. So again, our level ones, you only have to pick one of the three. Okay, then we're going to move on to exercise. Now, this is something that I do. Obviously, I'm doing CrossFit 6 days a week. But I always implement some long, slow duration cardio, or LSD, long, slow duration cardio, either first thing in the morning upon waking, so fasted cardio, and this is going to be at an aerobic pace, so this is not get out of breath Metcon style. Okay, aerobic pace, meaning you should be able to hold a conversation while doing this. So maybe like a really brisk walk or a light jog, or for those of you that may have like a bike or a rower or a skier, something where you're keeping your heart rate kind of in that level 2 zone. If you can't hold a conversation, you're going too fast. So that's option one. You're going to take 15 minutes, either first thing in the morning, or if you're a morning athlete that typically trains at the box early in the morning, we want you to use that 15 minutes of long, slow duration cardio either after lunch or after dinner. And that way you guys can kind of plug that in throughout the rest of your day. Another option that you guys are going to have for our exercise category is to incorporate 12 minutes of extra mobility work or stretching. Obviously, that can be done at any point during the day. You cannot count the mobility, activation, and stretching that we do in the class. This has to be something that's added on in addition to that. And then the third option that you guys are going to pick from is 9 minutes of core work. And we recognize that probably a lot of people don't really know exactly what to do for core work, so we're going to be putting out some ideas and some suggestions within the challenge so you guys can start incorporating kind of a little circuit, a 9-minute circuit of core work that you can throw into your day, either maybe first thing in the morning, midday, or sometime in the evening. So quick recap. Our level ones, meaning the most accessible version of the challenge, all you're going to do is you're going to pick one from each of the three categories. So one from nutrition, okay, one from the sleep or hydration category, and then one from the exercise category. Our level 2 version of the challenge, which is a step up in difficulty, you're going to pick 2 from the nutrition, 2 from the sleep and hydration, and then 2 from the exercise. And then the level 3 version of the challenge, you have to do all 3 for each. So those level 3s, that's going to be our most difficult variation of the challenge because you're going to have to go gluten-free, you're going to have to go dye-free, you're going to have to go no artificial sweetener not artificial sweetener, but no added sugar. Then you're also going to have to make sure you're eliminating screen time an hour before bed. You're going to have to drink 64 ounces of water a day. And then you're also going to have to try to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep per night. And then those level 3 people, you're going to have to incorporate 15 minutes of aerobic work, 12 minutes of mobility work, and 9 minutes of core work. So you guys get to pick. If you're interested in doing the challenge, please make sure that you reach out to me. You guys can text me or you can message me when you kind of see this show up on our social media. That way we know that you're actually doing it. We want you guys to pick a start date, and then we want you to map out 56 days later for your end date. A couple of other suggestions that we have for you. Before you start the challenge, weigh yourself. Okay, weigh yourself before you start the challenge. If you can get to Supplement Superstore, we love the guys at Supplement Superstore. If you can get there, do an in-body scan before you start. Get some data so you can track to see if you're actually improving. We would also recommend taking 2 pictures of yourself. One would be a full frontal picture, either in your underwear or a swimsuit. And then the other one would be a side profile picture with your arms up same thing, either in your underwear or your swimsuit. Those you don't need to share with anybody. You don't need to post those online. They're just for you so that you can track your progress over the course of the 56 days. We're also going to provide you guys with some social media stuff so you can keep track of your challenge. We want you guys to try to make one post a week, kind of saying like, hey, I made it through week 1. I made it through week 2, with the goal of trying to get 8 consecutive weeks where you're doing this challenge every day. And I will personally send you everything that you need for those posts. And those posts are going to be a way to kind of keep yourself accountable. We're going to be putting out more information about the challenge. Things like, how do you go gluten-free? We have questions about that from a lot of people. Gluten is anything, it is a protein that is found in anything with wheat, barley, or rye. So you're really going to need to make sure that you're reading your labels in preparation for the gluten-free challenge. The no sugar added is a little bit more straightforward because all you really do is need to read your labels. Really, the only thing existing in nature that naturally has sugar in it is fruit, and then obviously sugarcane, which probably not the best use of your calories, and then anything with artificial dye. And the way you can kind of pick up on what has artificial dye, read your labels, okay, and then look for those things that are like blue 36 or red 79. All of those things are indicating that there has been artificial dye added to your foods. Keep an eye out for more information. Reach out to me if you have more questions. If you're interested in doing the challenge, I personally am starting the challenge this Monday. So I made the video today, Saturday, which is May 4th. So I'm going to be personally starting my challenge on Monday, May 6th. But you guys can start your challenge whenever you want, as long as you have a start date and an end date. See you soon.